Hello everyone! Welcome to a 3v3 battle. Yeah, that's right. Going to play a 3v3 battle. The unit count here is going to be a little smaller. One of the players apparently had their options set to, I'm assuming, medium unit count instead of ultra, because there's 50 longbeards. I don't know what this is. Medium. I know it's not large, but I don't think it's small either. I think it's medium. So it's not going to be like as grand as an ultra unit count, but hey, it's still a 3v3 battle. My army here is all mounted. We have the Arch Lector on a mounted steed. We have two Reichsguard, the Royal Griffinites, Altdorf Griffinites, for our anti-cav for this little contention here. We also have a Light Wizard mounted, a Steam Tank, and then a Vanguard deployment. In a very unlucky, like, look at the size of this map. How is it that, like, the chances of me deploying a Vanguard Pistolier on top of a Vanguard deployed Forest Goblin Spider Rider? Like, what is the chance of that? Anyway, we have a group of Pistoliers backed up by two Outriders over here. And that's going to be my army. You can see we have two Goblin Rider Archers and then two normal Forest Goblins just right there. We'll get to that here in a moment. Over here we have Chaos and Dwarf. The Chaos player has a Chaos Sword mounted, an Exalted Hero mounted, a Hell Cannon. This is mostly a mixture of Chaos Warriors and Chosen. I think it's two Chaos Warriors with Halberdiers in the back, and then two with Great Weapons at the front, and then two Chosen. We also have a Fire Chaos Sorcerer on the ground, and then another Exalted Hero for the Chaos player. For the Dwarf player, we have a whole bunch of Longbeards in this line. We also have two Dwarven Cannons, two Thunderers, a Runesmith, and Thorgrim Grudgebearer, which you don't normally see. Happy to see him here, and actually the enemy Dwarf player brought him as well. Two Thorgrim Grudgebearers, no Ungrim Iron Fist. We also have a group of a Hammer back there, and I think that is it for the Dwarf player. Yeah, so for the enemy team, you already saw those Vanguard deployed Spider Riders over there. The rest of the Greenskin army is something I can appreciate. It's a front line of Night Goblins, I think one of which is a Fanatic. One of these are. Maybe not? No, I know I see a little Fanatic at some point in this battle. That's, you know, a little ball and chain dude. But only the Fanatic version drops them. Well, doesn't matter. Anyway, three Night Goblin Archers in the front line of Night Goblins, led by Grimgore Ironhide, which I don't think he would really lead Night Goblins, but this is still a really cool build. And then the Auric Shaman and a Ragnarok, two Goblin Doom Divers, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, the Cav contingent over there. Oh man, Grimgore is so cool. So cool. What else we got here? Empire player has like 3 or 4 Flagellants, 2 Halberdiers, 3 Great Cannons, Volkmar the Grim is right there, Crossbow, Handgunner, a group of the Blazing Sun Knights. The Dwarf player has multiple Hammerers. There we go. We have 3 of them, I believe. Yeah, 3 Hammerers, a Runesmith, a Thane. Sorry, Runesmith, Thane, and then another Thorgrim Grudgebearer, a group of Longbeards back here, and then Dwarf Warriors in the front line, and 2 Flame Cannons. Yeah. You never see these, but there you go. There's 2 Flame Cannons here, which, again, I can appreciate. So let's start this battle over here, where I am kind of surprised, to say the least. So I am immediately just clicking buttons, man. I am clicking attack orders with these guys, retreat orders with these guys, like instantaneously, boom, boom, boom. And then I had the Empire Captain and these knights with one group, the Arch Lector and these knights with another group, and I just had everything grouped. And so I was just pressing like 1 key, 2 key, and getting everything up here to try and deal with these Forest Goblin Spider Riders that were right on top of my Pistoliers, that are now trying to run for their lives, because they're not meant for melee.
Die, greenskin scum!
So we were trying to pull away. We're trying to get our knights, our Reichsguard over here, Steam Tank over here. Our Light Wizard over here is now going to cast a net of Ammontok so that we can hopefully catch the range part of their army. The thing is, though, my knights are actually kind of still far away here, so they are going to be able to break out of this net before we get there. We are getting some shots from these other melee Forest Goblins. That's my whole army right there. My Griffin Knights are actually still in the back a little bit. So these Forest Goblin Spider Riders tried to delay me, which is okay. So we're just going to give them a charge with our Reichsguard, which is going to do really well. Reichsguard are very heavily armored and have a very high base melee damage. The Forest Goblin Spider Riders do not have high armor, so the high melee base damage is going to be enough to kill them. So yeah, they do delay me enough that the Forest Goblin Spider Riders are going to get away. My Light Wizards and my Captain are now running away from this engagement. And what I'm going to be doing here is seeing if this player has their units set to just skirmish mode, because a lot of players will do that so they don't have to micromanage as much for their ranged cav. And the thing is, that can bite you in the ass, and I'm going to show you why. So these, I cast Burona's Time Warp on this group of Reichsguard to try and keep up with these Forest Goblins and kill as many as we could. Now I am going to, again, I'm testing to see if they are on skirmish AI. And I believe they are, because I'm going to move my Reichsguard over here. Edge of the map is right here, and we're going to get like a semicircle going on. And the thing is, the skirmish AI is going to run away from the closest threat in the opposite direction, which in this case is going to mean towards the map edge.
Very well.
So we're just patiently waiting. We don't want to charge because we don't want them to go this way until these guys get close. So these guys are getting closer, then the AI is going to start taking charge. I believe here. There they go. And then there they go. They're trying to run away, so we're just keeping pace to try and corral them towards the map edge. And then that's when these other Reichsguard come in. They have nowhere to go because skirmish just goes in the opposite direction. Now that may have, I don't know if, that's the thing that trips me up here. I don't know if the player was actually controlling them because there was a quick move to the south and that doesn't seem like skirmish mode enabled, but I don't know. I think the skirmish mode was enabled, so we're going to catch them and then we're going to route them off the map edge. It may have not been skirmish mode. It may be the player just started moving this way on their own. Either way, we got them off the field. The only losses we took was a little bit with our Pistoliers, which is acceptable for routing these two units, I think. The Pistoliers are the cheapest thing I have. Meanwhile, over there you can see... Oh yeah, they also have... I forgot to mention. They have the Sun Maker, Hellstorm Rocket Battery, and then also the 3 Great Cannons. A lot of artillery right here. My steam tank, during this whole ordeal, is going to be shooting at this Arachnarok Spider along with these 2 cannons. Because out of the Greenskin army here, this is the most threatening thing that they have. The steam tank has a very high... Where are you? There you are. A very high armor-piercing weapon strength, and the Arachnarok relies on its armor of 150, which is insanely high. But it relies on that armor to keep it alive, but the high armor piercing of the steam tank is going to wither that down. The cannons... Yeah, okay. Yeah, also the cannons are also armor piercing, right. Just double checking. But they are not anti-large. But still, this is a lot of anti-armor fire that's going to be bringing that Arachnarok down. Flame cannons are starting to fire over here. My army is getting in position to threaten this artillery position over there. The Forest Goblin Spider Rider here that we didn't kill is going to go over here to shut down the Hell Cannon. You can see the damage, man. This Arachnarok just starts taking a ton of damage. Now, the Flame Cannon. I love that the player brought the Flame Cannon because you never see them. The thing is, though, you brought them in a situation where they're not going to shine, really. The only possibility that these Flame Cannons would really shine is if the Chaos player brought a bunch of Marauders and not Chaos Warriors, which is highly unlikely. Not many people bring Chaos Marauder builds because they suck. And if I had brought a large contingent of infantry, which is totally possible. The build that I brought is not something you would normally see. So perhaps they brought the Flame Cannons to try and counter me specifically, because I could have brought a bunch of like swordsmen and spears to hold a line behind in front of a bunch of artillery, and the Flame Cannons would be able to destroy the Imperial infantry with impunity. The problem is the Flame Cannons, while kind of awesome because they also have like a 9-second reload skill, which is one of the shortest ones for artillery pieces. They have a very short range, very short reload skill, but their damage, while high, not really much of it is armor piercing. I think they have 20. Let's just check here, because I'm trying to tell you why this is not the ideal thing to bring. But it's a fun thing to bring. Listen, if you just want to have fun, do it. If you're looking for ideal, though, not the situation for this. So the Flame Cannon, if I can just hover over you for a moment, sir. There we go. So very high missile damage, very high explosive damage, but all of that is base missile damage. The armor piercing for an artillery piece is not that high. So it is firing at the dwarves, and it's going to be firing, I think, at the Chaos Warriors, both of which have a lot of armor. So a lot of that high base weapon damage and explosive damage is going to be absorbed by the dwarves' armor. The armor piercing, of course, is going to go through, but for the amount of money spent on a flame cannon, which is like 1,400, 1,500, it's super expensive. A lot of its damage is just going to waste against the high armor dwarves and Chaos Warriors. Again, against Marauders, would destroy Marauders like instantaneously. Against Imperial infantry, same thing. Against dwarves, there's really no situation where you want to take a flame cannon. The only time they're going to shine is if this player brought a ton of Slayers for some reason, which is highly unlikely, because then the Slayers would get totally destroyed by flame cannons. But there you go. That's kind of why you don't bring flame cannons. In a situation where there is an Empire, Chaos, and Dwarf, 2 of the 3 players are most likely going to bring high armor armies. So the flame cannon is going to be kind of null and void in that situation. On the other hand, very fun thing to bring, very cool, and I totally appreciate it. It is still disruptive, though. It knocks a lot of dwarves down. Hey, there's that fanatic. Well, okay. Hold on. Are you a fanatic? Wait, what? Wait, what? Normal night goblins don't throw out the fanatic. Was that changed in a patch or something? Yeah, they totally have the spinning loons. Wait. Look, it's been a while since I brought night goblins. But I do not remember normal night goblins having the spinning loon attack. Only the fanatic version of night goblins had those. Including the fanatic archer group. Which is why you never brought night goblin archer fanatics. Because their spinning loon attack was wasted on them. Because they're hopefully in the back and not sitting in a melee. Okay, so the night goblin archers do not have the spinning... This must have been updated, right? And I missed it in a patch somewhere. I played a lot of goblins earlier on in my multiplayer days, and I brought night goblins a lot. And I have to look at my old videos now, my old night goblin builds, because this actually changes things for me. Because the night goblin fanatics are 50 more than normal night goblins, but the whole reason to bring the fanatic version was to get these spinning loons, which are those little crazy goblins that you saw with giant balls. Anyway, sorry, I know I'm kind of just hounding on this for a while. Maybe I'm just misremembering. That's totally possible. I gotta look at that. I have to look at my old videos now. There goes the Foot of Gork dropped on the allied hammerers from this orc shaman over here. Meanwhile, my army over here... Where are we now? Okay, so I'm trying to split our forces in a way that these halberdiers are not going to be able to catch us. My goal is going to be crossbow, well, mostly this artillery, but also these crossbowmen as well. The Chaos players sent their flying Chaos Lord and Exalted Hero into... I believe they actually charged the Knights of the Blazing Sun, which is not a terrible idea because you're going to deny them their charge bonus. Also, their whole thing is flaming attacks, and the Chaos Lord and the Exalted Hero are not, like, susceptible to flaming attacks. They both have high armor, and the Knights of the Blazing Sun have a high base weapon damage. Again, the high armor of the Chaos Lord and Exalted Hero are going to, well, Chaos Lord actually doesn't have that much high armor. But they do have high armor piercing. A lot of high armor piercing damage, which can destroy them. Anyway, this is a pretty good situation to charge the Blazing Sun Knights. That's a good call on their part. They are getting hit by crossbows, which is going to be kind of not super effective. Again, because of their high armor. But anyway, I'm going to be throwing my units around, and that's another Briona's Time Warp. Kind of wasted at this point, actually. I should have waited. I charged my Light Wizard into this Halberdier group to stop them from getting to my Reichsguard, because I know my Light Wizard can take some damage for a little bit. My Reichsguard and their Imperial Captain are on a more important mission, and that is to shut down these Great Cannons, because these Great Cannons are hounding my steam tank. You can see it is almost dead. I'm trying to run it in a way that will make the cannons harder to hit it and also get it behind cover until I can shut them down, because I do not want my steam tank dead. It is 2200 in cost. It's only fired a couple times. It did do a lot of damage to the Ragnarok, which is now way over here and breaking. It actually never saw combat, I don't think, because of the cannons in my steam tank. But yeah, I'm trying to shut down these Great Cannons, then I can bring the steam cannon or steam tank back out. So we're going to charge their position. And we get stopped mostly by the cannons. Again, I didn't think about this in battle, it's always after it, but when you're charging cannons or artillery pieces of any kind, you have to come in from the sides or the back, or else you're just going to get hung up on the actual artillery pieces. Over here, we did get a flanking charge on these goblins, so this is a little bit better. Getting a charge on these crossbows as well, and now it's just a massive melee. Volkmar the Grim is in here trying to stop the Reichsguard. My Royal Altdorf, Griffin Knights are here, then I'm going to try and charge them against the Blazing Sun Knights, but they don't really get one off, but that's okay, because their anti-armor, anti-large damage is going to murder the remaining Blazing Sun Knights, and they're not going to take much damage in return, because they have high armor, and the Knights of the Blazing Sun are not armor piercers, really. Meanwhile, my gunners are just shooting at these Halberdiers, which they have now broken, so they're going to move on to the next Halberdier group, which is over here, and also shooting at this Great Cannon as well. And I think I also have them shoot at Volkmar the Grim at some point. My other Reichsguard group is going with this Chaos Sword to try and shut down the Night Goblin Archers over here, so we're just going to be charging right through and breaking them. That's what we're going to be doing with that group. This group is actually caught up by the Halberdiers trying to destroy those Goblin Doom Diver Catapults, and they're going to take a lot of damage from the Halberdiers. Halberdiers are perfect for killing Reichsguard, or really most Cav in the game. Trying to support them with the buffs of Archlector, but it's not going to be super strong against Halberdiers. But we have shut down most of the Great Cannons and the Doom Diver Catapults, so I'm feeling pretty good. I throw the Imperial Captain here to do what he can against this cannon crew because I just want them to stop firing. That's all I want. These Griffin Knights are going to start dealing damage to Volkmar the Grim as he gets shot by our Outriders and our Pistoliers. The steam tank is finally cleared to come into battle because we have shut down the Great Cannons, which is the greatest threat against it. Because Great Cannons are really good at destroying steam tanks. Really good. Over here, we're just continuing to rout their cannon crew, the Griffin Knights. This is not their ideal battle. The ideal battle of the Griffin Knights is going to be a large, heavy armored unit, like the Arachnarok Spider, but that thing has already been taken care of. And I was like, well, the Griffin Knights are here, Volkmar is here, they'll still do a lot of damage to him, so why not? But this is kind of a waste of potential for the Griffin Knights, but really there's not much else for them to attack nearby that would be their ideal opponent anyway. Right here, we just have some Pistoliers shooting into the Halberdiers. Halberdiers don't have much of a chance against Pistoliers because you can kite them for days. Still finishing up the Night Goblin Archers over here. This Dwarf fight, I'll just watch it in a cinematic view so you can actually see what happened over there. But for the most part, you can see the army is starting to do a chain route, and then they do a chain shatter. And that is going to be the battle. Only the Flagellants remain because they are unbreakable. But we have shattered everything else. There goes Thorgrim Grudgebearer, I think. The enemy one. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention I have Alliance coloring on, so you can see the difference between our dwarves and the enemy dwarves. Our dwarves are blue, the enemy dwarves are red. A lot of battles are going on all over the place. But now it's just a matter of cleanup duty. So in this situation, they had a lot of damage potential with their artillery pieces, the Doom Divers and the Great Cannons, and they still did deal a lot of damage, but they didn't protect them enough from my massive mobile force, so we shut them down. And honestly, the front line of the Dwarf player was kind of crushed by all of the anti-armor that the Chaos player brought. Like, their army here specifically kind of counters Dwarves, except for these Halberds. I guess those are just in case they met against Imperial, like, Griffin Knights, I guess, maybe. But for the most part, their army countered the Dwarves because of their high armor piercing, and then the Dwarven army was just very tough because it was a front line of Longbeards, so they can take a lot of the damage that the hammers could throw out and hold the line while the rest of the units kill them. And yeah, and then I shut down the artillery pieces over here with the help of the Chaos Lord, which is a good move on their part to throw the Chaos Lord and the Exalted Hero back here to shut down the important siege pieces and units that could threaten them. High mobility, high flying units are very scary. It's why they cost a lot of money, and they are most worth it in every situation. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the battle. Let's take a look at the kill count, and then we'll just do a quick cinematic one. Not going to be a high amount of kills because of the unit low, like the unit count was low in this game. But still, decent amount of kills all across the board. Archlector, 6 kills. He was mostly fighting against Great Cannons for the most part. Light Wizard didn't get any kills because he didn't cast any offensive spells. He did take a lot of damage from those Halberdiers I threw him into. He ended up actually routing for a little bit too. Imperial Captain, 10 kills. 117 on this Reichsguard. This is probably the... No, actually, this is the one that was dealing with the Halberdiers because it took so much damage. So that's actually a lot of kills on them, and probably the Forest Goblin Spider Riders, I would imagine. This Reichsguard was the one that was chasing down those Night Goblin Archers at the end. Royal Altdorf Griffin Knights, a lot of money. They got to shut down, not even shut down really, they finished off the Knights of Blazing Sun, did some damage to Volkmar the Grim. They didn't really do too much, honestly. Pistoliers, 11 kills on a low unit count is pretty good. Same thing goes for these Outriders, a lot of kills there. 19 kills in the Steam Tank, even though it was mostly focused against the Arachnarok until the very end. Not too shabby. For Giddy Der Bar, 11 kills on Thorgrim, 5 on the Runesmith. The front line of Longbeards did really well at holding off the other Dwarf player. Hammers, 62 kills. That's a ton in this type of battle. Thunderers are pretty good, and the Cannons did pretty good. And then Chris 6 here, 47 kills. The Chaos Sword is really good. The Exalted Heroes looks like they did really well. And, oh my god, these Chosen with great weapons. Holy sh... Yeah, those could not be fun to fight as a Dwarf player. That's just so much damage to deal with as a Dwarf player. Because again, most of their damage is going through the high armor of the dwarves, which is what they kind of rely on. Hell Cannon, only 13 kills. Got shut down by those Forest Goblin Spider Riders, which is good on their part. For OPK, 1 kill in Volkmar, not sure who he killed. The Flatulence didn't really kill much because they don't have armor piercing and they were sent in to fight against the Chaos player, so they didn't really do enough damage to get a lot of kills. The Halberdiers, this one did pretty well. I'm thinking those 20 kills were against my Reichsguard, because they really did devastate one of my Reichsguard groups, so good on them. Tattersouls, same thing, not high armor piercing damage, so they were just kind of destroyed. Crossbows didn't get a chance to do much. Handgunners, same thing. Knights were charged and then murdered by the Griffin Knights later. The cannons still did some damage before they were shut down, so that was really good on their part. And 34 kills on the Sunmaker, even in a low unit count, is not good. The thing is, it was firing into the high armor armies of the Dwarves and the Chaos, and this is another artillery piece that is dealt, or specifically deals damage to like low armor units. It's good to destroy them. Not really high armor. Kind of like those flame cannons, which, let's see, they still netted some kills, but again, these are very expensive, and this just wasn't their situation to shine. Even the hammerers, only one did really well. When we watch the cinematic, we'll see maybe these hammerers were thrown in against the Chosen. Oh, Thorgrim versus Thorgrim. Now, I believe these are the friendly hammerers over here. Let's just see real quick. 1, 2... Yeah, so these are the friendly hammerers fighting against just a runesmith and Thorgrim. Oh, man. They are outclassed in the situation with the hammers nearby. The enemy hammers over here dealing with the Longbeards. And it looks like this group of hammers was shut down by... Oh, man, just this massive charge of chaos. Woo. See, in this situation, this guy's Thorgrim's probably routing at this point. No, just shaking, trying to get out of there. The runesmith, I know, probably routed. Yeah. So with hammerers, Thorgrim and the runesmith cannot really fight hammerers because of their high armor piercing damage. Oh man, the Thorgrim just runs right into some more armor piercers over here. Oh, this is a bad day for the enemy Thorgrim. He is surrounded by everything he doesn't want to be. Oh, those poor bodyguards, too. Get out of there, Thorgrim. No! The high... Well, I guess the false High King falls. The real High King's still over there. Totally fine. I mean, these are the Tatter Souls that are still remaining. And there we go. Again, good game to everybody involved. Hope you enjoyed this 3v3. And I will see you all next time. Have a good day.